modern society is built around antibiotics. These magical drugs allow us to kill bacteria and build up the cities that we have today, free from fear of disease and premature death. However, an antibiotic resistance era is beginning. Antibiotic resistance is very simple. It's when a bacteria develops the capacity to resist the negative effects of an antibiotic, which is typically supposed to kill it. According to the WHO, if people do not change the way antibiotics are used now, these new antibiotics will suffer the same fate as the old antibiotics and become ineffective, as each antibiotic eventually has been circumvented by bacteria. Unfortunately, the pace towards creating new antibiotics is slow, and it's becoming slower as time goes on. By the 1950s, many of the advances from the penicillin creation era started to be threatened. And so through the 60s and 80s, we saw a huge boom in antibiotic creation. For a little bit, it looked like antibiotic resistance might have become an issue of the past. Yet, towards the 90s and 2000s, with the slacking off of the production of new antibiotics, it becomes overwhelmingly clear that the antibiotic pipeline has dried up and fewer new drugs will be introduced to save us in the future. Because of this, as Levy writes in The Challenge of Antibiotic Resistance, the compounds that we have must thus be used only when they are truly needed to ensure that we still have antibiotics for the future. So what does this mean for the hospitals of the future? It means that we're going to need to radically rethink the way that we handle medicine, and that heavy-handed approaches that throw antibiotics at each problem as the first line of defense simply will not be able to be sustainable as a civilization if we wish to continue to be able to perform essential medical procedures like surgeries which require antibiotics to be done safely. It also means that we're going to need to start thinking of alternatives to antibiotics and increasing education to ensure that antibiotics are used correctly, to safeguard the future for our children and make sure that antibiotics are not a thing of the past in the future.